it would be several years to the next installment in the series. In fact, on the 10th anniversary, which at the time was planned to be a PlayStation 3 exclusive, but luckily for fans, at least in North America and Europe, we got an Xbox 360 version. One of the best things I can say with this game is most, if not all, the redesigned looks of the officers are the best I've seen, totally better than Dynasty Warriors 6. In fact, after all that trial and error with Dynasty Warriors 6 reboot system and fixing with Empires, I'm sure those years they took between installments was to perfect it, right? They changed it again, didn't they?
Oh, that's
Was stabbing yourself necessary?
gods have dishonor. Atonement I must.
So yeah, as she was admitting and keeping a tradition, Omega Force overhauls the entire game and sort of brings back the weapon and combat system of the 5th entry. Sort of. Honestly, the final product is a result of multiple experiments and it's interesting to say. So let's start off. If you're playing the base game as I'm talking about here, there is no 2-player co-op for story. In fact, free mode and challenge mode, if you cared about challenge mode, are removed. They are not here. Yes, you heard me. The only mode that has 2-player co-op is conquest mode, which is a lot of what-if battles that you face while claiming the tokens to your side, allowing you to explore cities, buying new weapons, horses, answer trivia, maybe even increasing a bond with a particular character. You can play the same battle multiple times, see the conditions be the same, but different officers involved. It's a bit like a randomizer. Unfortunately, most battles are very short and quick. All the strongest weapons can be acquired here as well via the map weapon tokens. The mode isn't bad, but being the only way to play co-op sucks. The whole thrill was to play story mode with co-op, leveling more than one character. But I suppose this is because the game's story features a more dramatic narrative, and it's one of the most historically accurate, at least to the novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms. There's so many events and cutscenes in this game that if you read the book at all, would recognize immediately. It's fantastic. But I am getting way ahead of myself. So unlike Dynasty Warriors 6 only having like 23 officers to play story for, or Dynasty Warriors 5 story for each character, you have the kingdom-based manner of storytelling similar to Dynasty Warriors 4, a bit with more historically accurate characters present. Each stage has a certain character assigned to it that the player uses. Some battles are also divided into 2 halves, providing different character perspectives. Basically, as you play for example Wei, you would change characters between battles or events as the story for that kingdom is told. Cutscenes and events are seamless, and the transition strives to be as close to real time as possible, which is the best thing they could do for a game growing this big with all their characters. You are leveling multiple characters at one playthrough while you watch the story unfold. And when I mean you get every major scene from the novel or history, you get it. Like Sahutun finally having both eyes and later losing one. Sahuan getting shot. And prior to each battle, you can spend the skill points shared among that kingdom to extend the character's attack string, gain additional Musou stacks, learn a second Musou attack, and attain other personal traits for that player's character. Character growth is reverted to a similar format like the PS2 era of collecting the sword and shield stats that drop. Each character has Musou attacks with fixed animations unique to them. Characters are able to use 2 different Musou attacks, and the Musou gauge features multiple stocks. Downside is some characters' Musous are terrible, like Su Shu Roly Poly. I hate this one. Or Sun Shang Zhang grabbing an enemy and stomping on their face. These ones miss a lot, but for the most cases their second unique one is better. But back to the story mode, you play the classic Three Kingdoms, culminating with the Jin Dynasty at the end to the era. A welcome touch, honestly, seeing all the shit go down the way during this time.
If we don't change direction, the right queen would know exactly where we are headed.
They reused himself, didn't they?
Feel them.
No!
Kawaboga, konnichiwa, Ewi.
Wow! However, if you just played Dynasty Warriors 6 or Empires recently like I did, you would see that several map layouts from these games are reused. It's fine I guess, but duels are removed again, as well with bases no longer playing a role like with the last 2 installments. In fact, various features introduced in Dynasty Warriors 6, namely tomes, special skills, dodge rolling, running charge attacks, grapples, are completely removed for the return to form. Sort of. Characters equip 2 different weapons and can switch between them freely mid-battle. With this method, each weapon has skills that can be earned and equipped as passives on weapons with higher ones having multiple passives that can be equipped. Hence having 2 weapons due to this. Most characters do recycle the same moveset unless if they have an X attack, when the character is equipped with their personal weapon of choice, allowing them to flash a white color during a certain combo, and getting an extra few hits, explosions, or crowd clearing shown here between these 2 using the same weapon and combo but one having the X action. I do like the fact any, and I do mean any weapon can be equipped to a character, so if you're not a fan of that weapon's combos, you can change it. This is a great idea, but having 2 weapons is pointless. It's like I said earlier, just equip additional passives that you earn since there's no item system again. At least we get new characters as well, as all removed characters from Dynasty 6 finally returning. Except Pangda and Soci, because I don't know why they haven't come back yet. I like them. Morale plays a reduced role as well, with the army morale gauge removed from the UI, and morale no longer appearing in the officer's menu, which I don't know, but many times I would see officer panic and struggle to only get killed immediately, and the fight ends with me failing. I feel that morale did help in past installments, but did you know this was the first Dynasty Warriors to feature facial expressions? Kind of a neat thing. However, I would need to admit that there is Extreme Legends Empires made for this game that were not released on Xbox 360, and due to not having working PS3, I can't really play those two the next 2 days, which means not even digital.
It is better to be a broken piece of jade than an intact tile.
Get the hell out of here, I'm not doing that!
Fear that you have. This is the only way out.
No, get the hell! I'm not doing that, okay? I'll mention some things, okay? That'd be fine. I'm not doing that. So yeah, I know there's a PC port of these titles, but I am trying to stick to console releases since that's how I play the majority of these titles, and well, owning all of them as well. But I will at least say several modes were added to Extreme Legends. 3 characters were added, including Pangda's triumphant return, a new Nightmare mode, and the return of 2-player co-op for story if you have the original PS3 disc. What the hell, man? It should have been the base game. However, the real one that hits hard is Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires being a digital only overseas. Probably as most have pointed out, the lack of English dubbing. After Dynasty Warriors 6 Empires, I was really looking forward to this one, and it's a shame it's not even on PC. Though there's like ROMs emulating, but I'm not here to discuss this. This would be one I wish I had a chance to play, and still do. Looks really fun, but alas, this one's getting long, so I'll leave it here. If you want the most accurate book and historically accurate game to play of the 3 Kingdoms era, Dynasty Warriors 7 is that game. And even to this day, I come back just to experience all the events and cinematics there was. Did you know there was an April Fool's joke with Diana Wade with hair?